Operational procedures. HVTT procedures. Specific procedures for the handling of high-value theft targeted, or HVTT, cargo must be in place and aligned with TSR procedures. The LSP must have documented procedures in place to protect HVTT cargo in case of security incidents, driver illness, vehicle breakdown, strikes, detours, accidents, bad weather or refusal to accept delivery. Further, it would be highly appreciated to notify law enforcement immediately of any incidents of loss, injury, assault, or malicious damage by submitting an official report, and to share the real or anonymous details to the TAPA incident database. The LSP must maintain a listing of critical law enforcement agencies or LE contacts within its routes. A documented procedure, both for its main office and for drivers, for how to contact and coordinate with law enforcement when a theft event occurs, must be present. The LSP must also maintain records of all collections and proof of deliveries, for a period of not less than 2 years that can be accessed when investigation of loss is necessary. To risk assess routes and stops at least annually to assure that the safest routes are chosen to minimize passage through, or stops in, high-risk areas, is the responsibility of the LSP. This information must be provided to the buyer if requested. Secure parking. The LSP must have a policy in place to identify and implement the use of secure parking locations for loaded trucks, as specified in TSR levels 1, 2, and 3. This policy has to include internal practices for which parking locations will get used, covers an up-to-date list of approved parking locations, provides any actions to take when an approved parking location is not available, and gives an overview of any prohibited parking options or any related actions. Approved and prohibited parking facilities and stopping places are to be listed in the driver's manual. For TSR Level 1 transports, the driver has to check before and after each stop, or rest, the integrity of the trailer, locks, and seals. These checks need also to be recorded and kept for 1 month. Emergency procedures. The response protocols for alerts must be reviewed at least annually and contact details kept current. All protocols must include specific responses, including protocols for responding to tracking system failure, as well as communications with law enforcement, advice for drivers, allocations of resources to the site of the event as needed, and protection of any cargo that remains and is vulnerable. Inbound and outbound process. The LSP must have documented procedures verifying box and pallet counts before loading and after discharge. Documentation verifying these procedures must be retained for not less than 2 years. All cargo must be verified against shipping documents and manifest to ensure proper marking, weights, counts, and specific handling instructions. Freight handover process. Documents must be legible, complete and accurate, including, where appropriate, time, date, driver's signature and printed name, signatures of shipping and receiving personnel, shipment details, and any special instructions. The LSP must maintain records of all collections and proof of delivery for a period of not less than 2 years, that can be accessed if investigation of loss is required. Access to shipping documents and information on buyers' assets need to be controlled, monitored and recorded, based on the need to know. Shipping documents must be safeguarded until destruction. Unless prohibited by shipper or receiver policies, the LSP's policy has to document that drivers must be present for loading and unloading to confirm piece count. If shipper or receiver policies prohibit this practice, those policies must be available for audit. Fraudulent pickup. A capability needs to be in place for pre-alerts. If required, or requested by the buyer, the pre-alert details should be agreed upon between the LSP and buyer. Otherwise, suggested details include departure time, expected arrival time, trucking company, driver name, license plate details, shipment info, and trailer seal numbers.